All right, well, I'm gonna make a few videos that are gonna kind of go together, but we did get the engine picked up last night. I originally planned on putting a B16 in the four-door, and that was gonna be my update for this one because we do have a B16 A2 full swap coming, but I'm gonna end up just selling that one. And we actually went and picked this one up last night, and the stipulation was I had to check the compression. If the compression was good, then I'd give the guy the full asking price. This is a, I don't know what year it is. It might say on here, looks like 98. So 98 on the head, but it is a B18C. I don't know what this little scratch is right here, but B18C. So this is a JDM GSR, not a Type R, but it'll still do pretty good in this four-door. It was healthy, and that's all I really cared about. I wanted to make sure. So I'm gonna go through, clean all this stuff up, and like I said, I'm always very particular on what I put in my own cars because I'm actually gonna build this car so we can go take it out to Arkansas here in like 2 months, I believe in October. We're gonna go to the BTM, the Boston, or BMT, the Boston Mountain Tour. So if you guys are out in Arkansas, I'm gonna come say hi to you guys, obviously with the four-door. But the plan was I don't drive my hatch much and I don't really wanna crash that car into a tree. So I wanted to build a four-door or something just to go out there and rip around, have fun, and not have a ton of money in, but have something that's kind of built up that can still handle some TogaCon type stuff. But anyways, so B18C, healthy. I'm gonna get this all cleaned up. I'm gonna go through, check valve lash. I'm gonna pull off the covers, clean up some of the leaks. It looks like the cam seals might be leaking a little bit, and that's what's kind of going over here. But anyways, so we're gonna get this apart. I'm gonna take this transmission off. This is a LS 5-speed, so a DC4. And we're gonna sell this transmission, and that had brand new fluid came out of it. Everything was really healthy about this engine, so I'm really happy about that. So we're gonna post that LS 5-speed up for sale, and I always get asked for B series, so I know it's gonna sell very quickly. And if you're in the market, definitely hit me up, let me know. And so I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and then I'm gonna kind of go over what all it's gonna take to put a B18C or B series of VTEC into a 96 to 2000 EK or hatchback, coupe, four-door, whatever, the EK series. I'm gonna go over some of that stuff of what's needed, try to make it as simple as possible because a lot of people really overcomplicate this process, and a lot of people just buy the parts and then they don't ever get it done. I will say all in all right now, between this car and this right here, we do not have very much money in. And that was the whole point of this build, is because I wanted to go out and I wanted to find used parts and list exactly what I have in this build and go over in detail of how much it actually cost me to build something like this. So people can see that you don't have to spend a crazy amount of money to have a really cool, nice car that runs really well. You just really need to do your due diligence, look at marketplace, look at all the places that people are selling things, get some deals and do the work. That's really what it comes down to, is sometimes the best deals require you to do the most amount of work. So I found this deal. He said, I'm not gonna say the final price yet, but he said X amount. And I said, okay, if it tests out good, then I'll give you your full asking price. But the stipulation was I had to go pull this motor out myself to get the deal, which was fine. It was an hour-and-a-half drive, pulled it out in like an hour-and-a-half, and then loaded it up in the truck and came back, and now I'm working on it today. So this series is gonna be a little bit longer because I'm gonna try to put a lot of stuff in this video. So if you guys are interested in seeing all that stuff, stay tuned. All right, so step by step, we pulled the LS transmission off here. It's got some kind of funky clutch on here. I don't know. It's an XZE, but man, they have a weird kind of flywheel on here. And it's got some really small, like 8mm heads for the 12 points. And 2 of them are drilled out. because I guess they couldn't get it off or something. So I don't know what's going on with that, but we're definitely gonna pull this whole situation off. I might keep the pressure plate and the clutch disc because they look like they're in good shape, but I'm definitely gonna replace the flywheel. I have a lighter flywheel that I'm gonna put on here. So we went through and used some oven cleaner, cleaned up the block and the head real good. I'm gonna put some stuff on here so it doesn't rust and get all tarnished. My other plan is to probably remove this intake manifold because they got some kind of weird funky bolt going through here. I'm guessing they must have stripped that out and then they put this nut back here, and I cannot have that. That's completely horrendous looking to me. So I'm gonna get rid of that. We're gonna take off the breather catch can back here, the OEM one, and put on an aftermarket one with a -10 line so we can get this thing breathing a little bit better. Other than that, I still gotta go through. I'm gonna take the valve cover off, check all the valves, check everything, make sure everything is in good condition up there, because I am planning on spinning this thing pretty high, at least as high as we can take it stock wise. And then transmission wise, I have my Type R transmission over here. So we're gonna use this transmission, and I gotta get this thing cleaned up also. So factory LSD Type R trans, we're gonna put that on there. And then this is just a bunch of work that I gotta finish up. But engine bay is pretty clean right now. I gotta go through, so I'm gonna pull the power steering off. I'm not gonna have power steering on the car, but I am gonna leave the AC on the car. So I gotta get one of my brackets cleaned up and finish cleaning this stuff up right here. Switch out that rear mount back there because we're gonna put solid mounts in it, or pretty solid, not completely solid, but you know, polyurethane mounts. I did do the clutch line yesterday, so the steel braided clutch line over to the new master cylinder over there. Clean that slave cylinder up real well. I still got to clean some of that stuff back there in that corner, and then some of that stuff off the firewall. But other than that, engine bay is almost ready to have it dropped in, even though I'm not going to yet. Interior wise, I'm going to, so I got an SI cluster last night actually with that swap over there. And again, like I said, I'm trying to find all secondhand parts. I try to use not the best parts that I get. So I normally sell the best parts and I keep the kind of parts. And the reason why I say kind of is because this is faded right here and it's also got 220,000 miles on it. So people want to buy something that, you know, obviously like make sure this is really clean, make sure that's not faded, you know, something in the 100K range down there. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that and put it in here. Obviously, I still got to put all the interior and everything back in here, which will be done pretty soon. I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do with the seats yet. I do have the OEM ones and they are in really good condition, but they're stock EK seats, you know, so it is what it is. So we're gonna swap that cluster out. I also have a Momo wheel coming with an extension and a quick disconnect as well. So we're gonna put a suede Momo wheel in here that's black. I did find some Recaro seats, some black Recaro seats, but it's not quite cheap enough to where I would want to buy for my own car, and it's not quite cheap enough for me to buy and resell. So I'm gonna see maybe if he'll work out a deal with me. If he does, I'll probably put those in here, and we'll see. But the hard part is getting the rails. Finding EK rails for Recaros is really hard. So I don't know. That's gonna be a pain in the butt to do. But either way. Also, I still need to pull this panel off so I can change this window out, but I'm gonna do that at a little bit later time. And then also need to put this trim piece on. So I'm gonna do this probably when I pull the window out, because then I gotta pull the mirror off and all that stuff to switch that out the right way. And I actually have the newer piece up there, so we're gonna do that. But yeah, like I said, this is gonna be a little bit longer video. So I wanna go a little bit more in depth on just the process of getting this cleaned up, what we're gonna do, getting the car ready for it, and all the steps that it takes to do the swap. So Hope you guys like that kind of content. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit longer, but I'm hoping I can help a lot of people with it. All right, so probably where I'm going to end the video today. Got this thing all cleaned up, so I know you guys saw it hanging there, but went into a little bit more detail on cleaning some of the cracks and crevices and all that. Took off the pulley, checking the timing belt. It is very, very tight. It does show a little bit of excess wear on the outside. It was kind of walking towards the outer rib and had a little bit of buildup in the crank down here. So I might go ahead and replace that belt because I don't know when that was replaced. But everything inside looks really, really healthy, very clean. I didn't clean any of that. That's just how it came. So I'm happy with that. Cleaned off the back. Took off some of the hoses that were cracked and just not in good condition. Cleaned up some of the oil pan. I'm gonna go through and torque all those down again. Nothing was really leaking that bad. It just had its normal kind of, you know, wear and tear. But I definitely wanna tighten that up and make sure that it's good. The only thing I did see is it looks like the rear main seal was leaking a little bit. So I am gonna have to go ahead and replace that for sure before I put the flywheel on and all that. And then replace one of the hoses that was up here. So I'm gonna run this over to the IAC and then delete this off of there. They had this hooked up, and then this one going to the IAC, which that's not needed. And then they have this one off the back of the manifold, just plugged with a bolt back here. You know, does it work? Yeah, but that's not how I'm gonna use it. Because like I said, I am gonna replace this manifold because of this funky situation right here. I just really don't like it. And I don't really like this style of intake either. I like the Gen 1 style that doesn't have this, but unfortunately, I don't have any GSR that style. I have one B16 and then I have one Type R, original Type R, and I don't remember what else I have, but they're all for freaking B16 heads. So anyways, but I'm gonna clean up all this grime that's inside here. I'm gonna take this off. I might replace the whole solenoid. I don't know what this is. If I can take it off and if it cleans up, okay, I might leave it, but I don't like this wire tap that's on here either. So I don't know yet. I don't like seeing those type of things. I like it to be all OEM, all the plugs there, and make it look good. And I know a lot of people probably would have just bought this and it was running and literally just taken it and put it in there, but that's not how I want to show people how to do this type of stuff. I want them to take the time, put some detail in it, understand the workings of it, so if something happens, you know, they know how to work on it. But so that's where we're at today. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video, and then tomorrow I'm gonna pick up cleaning that up a little bit. I do need to get some parts sold. So I'm gonna put some of that stuff on eBay, like that bracket right there, and then some other stuff that we got with it. So we got a shift linkage, and all this stuff is available as well. So we got another set of axles, which this one needs a new boot, a GSR style shift linkage with a Skunk 2 short throw shifter, an upper strut tower brace, some kind of catch can deal, a B-series aluminum aftermarket radiator that was out of the EK. We got some extra mounts, so if you guys need some extra EK mounts, we have those. And then I posted this up on Marketplace today, the LS 5-speed that we got cleaned up in really, really good condition on that one. And then there's assorted stuff over there. I am kind of undecided on whether I want to use an aftermarket fuel rail on that. I really like the ease of using the OEM rails, and I do have this one, which is actually pretty cool. It's a composite Skunk 2. It's got a nice gauge on there, which I will need a gauge, and it's got a really nice grams fuel pressure regulator. So I'm undecided if I'm gonna use that yet. I don't know, but I do have that in the back pocket. I also have some cams and all that sort of stuff, but I don't think I'm gonna throw any of that in this motor. I want it to be pretty stock and just make it super, super reliable. And then here's all my intake manifolds. So B16 OEM, this one of these is the original Type R, And then one of them is the Skunk 2 Gen 1, which they look identical. And then a B16 A2 back there. So again, no freaking GSR manifolds, which really sucks. So I got another good set of axles down there, it looks like. We are also selling this. It is a rebuilt Jackson Racing Supercharger. This is for a B16. It comes with the 1320 pulleys. It comes with the new, brand new pulley accessories, all that type of stuff. So that's a really, really nice kit right there. And we also have some B Series 36 mil axles. So if you have Type R fronts, I am selling those as well. And then a bunch of assorted D Series stuff. But anyways, enough about that. So, yep, that's where we're at on the car. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you guys want to see more like actually working on stuff, more updates, stuff like that. And I'd be happy to make those for you guys. So we'll talk to you later.